Hello everyone, today I'm going to be sharing my pocket notebook ecosystem with you. The reason I like to carry pocket notebooks is because they're small in size, so they're much easier to carry with me, especially because sometimes I do like to carry all three of these in my bag at the same time, and if they were any bigger, it would be kind of hard to do so. So let's start from left to right. This is the Lockbee Mini Field Journal. I've spoken about this one a few times on my channel before, but don't worry, if you've watched my other videos, it's not going to feel very repetitive because I do like to change up my setup every so often so things feel fresh. So let's open it up. I like to keep two of my notebooks inside of here. These are both field notes and I use them for two different purposes. This one is my main notebook. I use it every single day and I carry it with me at all times. It is my EDC notebook, or a catch-all notebook, if you will. In here, I like to keep things like my lists. For example, I have a grocery list in here. I like to list out my groceries on paper rather than having them on my phone. I just find it to be a little bit easier, and I just like the feeling of thinking about what I'm going to eat for the week and writing down all the ingredients and groceries that I need in order to make those meals. I also like to use this notebook for practicing gratitude. This is something that I've been practicing for the past few months. It's a little fresh, but I find that it really does help me to feel a little bit more grateful and have a better day. So usually I will write down 3 things that I'm grateful for that particular day. Sometimes, like this day, I will write 4 things if I'm feeling extra grateful for that day. Another reason I like to use this notebook is so that I can write down my daily task lists. So I will just write out the day of the week and the date, and just write down the list of things that I have to do on that day. Because there's so many things to do in a day, and sometimes, like here, I only had 2 things to do really. And then other days here, I have multiple things to do. So I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything, and it makes it easier for me to write it down so that I can remember what I have to do so that I don't miss anything that's very important. And the other thing that I like to use this notebook for, among other reasons, is because I like to draw little pictures, give it a nice little touch with a feather pen and one of my favorite lamps. This is a banker's lamp. I actually have one. I do love writing with dot grid notebooks so that I can draw these little pictures. Otherwise, I don't really do it when it's a lined notebook. I just find that I don't feel very creative with the lined notebooks. I prefer to use lined notebooks for if I'm just, writing out lists or to-do lists. But if I'm going to draw, I prefer to just use a dot grid. So actually, I think I'm going to continue to use more dot grids. I have in the past, and I'm always changing up the field notes that I use, and this one is a dot grid, so I really like it. There was another drawing in here that I recently did that I really liked. I think I was just sitting in my office room, not really doing anything, just thinking. And I looked over to my left and I saw my flowers kind of just sitting in the sun because they're right by the window. And I just decided that I would draw them because I thought it was kind of nice. So I drew this little plant here. I forget what kind of plant it is, but I thought it was kind of cute, so I decided to do that. On the back here, I have another field notes. This one I have mentioned in the past before. This is where I write the things that I am trying to balance in my life. So I kind of use it as a balance tracker. Can't really think of a better name for that, but that's what I'm going with right now. So I will write down things that I need to prioritize in my life. For example, I have work, YouTube, family, friends, relationship, Krav Maga. I'm learning Italian and brushing up on my Spanish, doing my gratitude, all these things. And sometimes I do change it. Like you can see on this side, there weren't as many things, and I have gradually added extra things. Maybe sometimes I will cut some things out, like this line here. Eventually, I will not have that there at all. So I do like being able to look at what I have going on in my days, marking off the things that I did focus on the day so that I can see when there are things that I'm not focusing on. For example, I have not been to Krav Maga in the past couple of weeks because I've been very busy. Also, I was sick, and it just tells me, hey, you've been missing a lot of classes, so you need to keep that in mind so that you can make sure to go in the coming days. So it's a nice way to track my habits and make sure that I am focusing on the things that are most important to me. And these are the most important things to me in my life going on right now. They're not in any particular order. I just like to make sure that I know what I'm doing and what I'm focusing my time on. I do like to keep a couple extra things in my Lockbee Mini Field Journal. Like I like to keep 2 pens. This one is my TWSBI Eco fountain pen. I really love it. This is the rose gold and smoke color with diamine ox blood. That's the color inside. It's red, which I think looks very cool. And this one is by Bruno Visconti. This is a roller ball. I also really like this one as well. I love the gold. I'm kind of on a gold kick lately, so it adds a nice little touch to, And the reason I carry 2 pens is because I like to have 2 different colors. I don't use one color over another. I just alternate depending on how I'm feeling. And over here, I keep just some photos, some film photos that I've taken of friends, my cat, just little things that I enjoy doing and I want to capture. I'm not going to go through those. I have my debit card in here, a little cleaning cloth for my fountain pens, and just a couple little cards for like when I've gone to a cafe and things like that. So I like it. It's very cute. I do have an affiliate code below for Lockbee, so if you're interested in getting one, which I highly recommend, you can get 10% off using my discount code. So be sure to check these out because these are amazing, super durable, wax canvas, so water resistant. You can hold it here. These are very compact and they're gonna last you a long time. Moving on, I'm gonna talk about the newest addition to my notebook ecosystem. This is my traveler's notebook passport size. I have not set this up in the way that I want to. I'm not really sure how I want to set it up yet, so I'm trying to figure that out. Right here is just a paper clip that I kind of twisted all up into this little shape here. I put it in here just because I wanted to have something here. I think it kind of looks cool. I'll probably switch it out for a real charm at some point once I find one that I feel like I resonate with. So I keep the notebook that it came with. I believe this is the Midori. It's by Midori. The paper is really nice, actually. I use it to, I use my fountain pens on it and I don't really experience any bleeding or any shadowing or anything like that, actually. Anyways, so this notebook is my commonplace book. I forgot to mention that. So my commonplace book is where I write things like quotes, lyrics, maybe things that I've heard in a movie, TV show, or poems. For example, I really love the poet Emily Dickinson, so sometimes I will read one of my books that's from Emily Dickinson, or it's not from her, but it's all of her poems, or a lot of her poems, and I will just write down, some of the ones that I feel like I really enjoy. I really love poetry, and one of the things that I do, and I probably won't do it very long, is sometimes if I have an idea for my own poem, I will write it in here. And I know that kind of defeats the purpose of a commonplace book because commonplace books are for other people's thoughts, not your own. But I kind of thought that it would be nice to add in my own little poems or just little quotes that I have. I probably, if I start doing it a lot more, I'll probably have a separate notebook for that, just so that I can have my thoughts separate from thoughts of others. I use this notebook also for when I'm reading a book or I'm listening to a podcast. I will write down things that really stick out to me so that I can remember them. And this really helps for me to replace my phone so I'm not doom scrolling. So when I feel the urge to pull out my phone and just scroll through Instagram or YouTube Reels because I'm bored or I'm sitting somewhere just waiting for something to happen, then I will just pull this out instead and start reading through it so that I can have something to do that's a little bit more productive, get my mind thinking about something other than social media. So I really like this. I do want to add some inserts in here as well, maybe like a zippered pocket and a couple extra things. I'm not exactly sure how I want to set it up yet, but once I figure it out, I'm going to have a separate video for that. And I'm thinking about maybe adding a sticker or drawing maybe a feather pen or something here to kind of bring it out a little bit and add a little bit of more of my personality into this notebook. The third notebook I want to talk about is my journal. I've spoken about journaling a couple times on my channel, but it is something that's very important to me and I absolutely love doing. So I will definitely be talking about it more into the future as well because it is, again, very important to me. This one here is by the brand Leuchtturm 1917. It's the A6 size. I really love this size notebook. I used to use larger like A5 size notebooks for my journals, and I was never able to actually finish them. But since I started using this size, I've been able to actually complete my journals. I started this one back in, I believe, September of 2025, and if you can see there, I'm almost done. I'm not really going to go through this one because these are my, deep thoughts, and it's a bit more personal to me than the other ones. If the other ones got lost, I wouldn't be as upset, but this one isn't exactly something that I want, into the world. I really love the Leuchtturm brand. Again, I love the size of it, but it's not just the size. The paper works really well. I use it with my fountain pens again, and I don't notice any bleeding or much shadowing or anything like that. Maybe a little bit, but it's not that serious. I love how smooth it is. When I write with my pens, it's very smooth. And I love that Leuchtturm also numbers the pages for you, which is nice because sometimes I would number them myself. I definitely do with my field notes just because I want to see like how far along I am in the notebook that I'm using. Before I was using Leuchtturm, I was using some other brands. I do like to switch up the brands every time just so I can try something different, and maybe there is a brand that I use that I really enjoy. One of these is from the brand Exceed, and the other one is from Pen & Gear. And I already have a notebook ready for my next journal because I'm about to finish this one. I do want to make sure that I'm prepared so that when I do want to write, I don't have to rush to the store to go find a new journal for me. The next journal I'm going to be using, it's also the same size, the A6, because I really like this size. This one is by Moleskine. I've used Moleskine for their pocket-sized notebooks, like just the thin ones that are very similar to field notes. But this one is their hardcover, and it has, I don't know how many pages, like 192 pages. I have heard that these don't work as well with fountain pens as the Leuchtturm brand does, but I'll let you guys know. Eventually, once I actually start this one, I will give you an update and let you know which one I prefer and why one may be a little bit better than the other. I'll do a review video if you guys are interested in that. Like I said, I was never able to actually finish my notebooks, my journals, until I started using this size. These are fully completed. This one's about to be done, and I'm sure I'm going to get this one done in a matter of a couple of months, just because I feel like it's easier to get through these, and once you feel like you've gotten through maybe a third of it, you feel excited to actually finish it. So you write more and you feel excited to write, rather than if you have a larger size notebook, like an A5 size, then you feel a little bit more intimidated and then you don't quite finish the notebook. At least that's my experience, and I have heard other people mention the same thing. My next one actually isn't a notebook, but I wanted to add it in here because I guess you can decide. This is a notebook cover. It's also by the brand Lockbee. It's the same one as the mini field journal, but this is just the regular size. So this is the Lockbee field journal. And again, if you're interested in getting one, I do have a 10% off discount below, so be sure to check that out. So instead of holding a notebook in here, I actually like to add the book that I'm reading because, if I'm throwing my book around, it can get destroyed, or, the binding can peel or just get worn down. And I want to make sure that my books last a long time. So I would add this in here. And I also like to keep a couple things on the side here as well. So I will leave some sticky notes. I'll write down all the books that I've been reading for the year. And sometimes I will take out a sticky note and put it on the front page here and just write a couple of notes that I find very interesting or things that stick out to me from what I've read. I don't have any stickies on this right now because I just finished the book that I was reading before. Actually finished reading it today, so I threw this in here right before I started filming the video because this is actually the next book that I want to read. And this is The Little Book of Stoic Wisdom because I've been getting into philosophy. So I thought this would be a good way to learn a little bit more about that. Anyways, I like to keep a pen on this side so that I can always have something to write with when I do want to write in my little sticky notes here. I also like to keep some stickies here as well, some smaller ones, so when I find a quote or something that really sticks out to me, I will just stick it on the side here so that I'm always able to go back. I don't like to write in my books. I prefer to just have the stickies on the side so that I can actually read the excerpt and read what stuck out to me in the first place. And then if I want to do some extra thinking, or if I want to write about what was important to me or something that stuck out, I would either write it on the sticky note here, or I would go back to my commonplace book from my Traveler's Company notebook. I will write down those things that really stuck out to me in here, and those quotes and sayings, things like that. I do like to keep this setup fairly simple so that I'm not distracted. The whole point of me reading is to gain knowledge and not be distracted by other things, so I don't want to have anything too chaotic or crazy in here. I don't carry this every single day, but if I know that I'm going to have a long commute, so some days, maybe like half of my week, I will carry this in my bag along with these other ones as well. I do want to mention, though, I forgot to say that I don't always carry my journal with me. Sometimes I do carry all of these three, but if I have to break it down, then I will just carry my Lockbee Mini Field Journal and my Traveler's Notebook Commonplace book. I will carry these ones together, and I will leave this one at home. But if I know that I'm going to be somewhere where I'm going to have a lot of downtime, then I will bring my journal just so I can write a little extra and write those things that I've been thinking about. And one more thing, I want to mention that there actually is a notebook that is part of this system. I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I want to have a completely separate video about it. It's actually the newest of my notebook collection. I know I said it was this one, but it's actually another one, and that's the bonus hidden one. So be sure, if you are interested and you're curious to find out what it is and what I use it for, stay tuned so you can watch that video as well. I am interested to know, what notebooks do you guys use? I hope that you like the style of video. If there's anything that you would like me to talk about in other videos, maybe a similar setup, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.